All right, we're live. Welcome everyone to ChangeMaker TV. Judy King here. I'm very excited to have Sarah Ford joining us today. Thanks for being here, Sarah.
Thank you for having me, Judy. I'm really excited to be here.
Great. So just to tell you guys a little bit about Sarah, her and I actually met around 6 years ago in New Zealand when I was filming Body Combat 50. God, that feels like a lifetime ago now.
It does.
And Sarah's previously, in her previous life, she was a nurse and fell in love with Body Combat when she was actually diagnosed with depression, generalized anxiety disorder, and post-traumatic stress. So she had that experience that for nearly 15 years. Wow, what an incredible thing to overcome. I really acknowledge you for, what you obviously went through to get through that. She was, really unable to leave the house, and it was really Body Combat that made a huge impact on her life to be able to get her through, the medication that she was on, and having put on excessive weight through, the lifestyle that she was leading and the medication, she was able to really drop the kilos and move herself to Australia. So she's now a proud Aussie.
Yes.
And, she's also got, incredible amount of experience in the fitness industry and runs Emerge Health and Fitness, a business that provides group training and kind of mobile training for women. So we're really excited to have you here to share your story and your journey, and also hear about what you're up to in the world.
Yes, it is quite some journey when I hear you say it like that. It makes me think, oh my goodness. And yeah, now I'm sitting here and talking to you, and yes, I'm just about, hopefully, to launch this initiative that I've got for women who perhaps have experienced something such as myself, but yeah, just really excited to be in this privileged position, I guess, now, having been through all these experiences. Yeah,
great. That's an incredible way to look at it. Can you share us a little bit about the journey and from where you were and to where you are today?
Yeah, so in my, as you say, in my previous life, I was a nurse, and I always knew that I loved helping people and being around people, but unfortunately at that time I did experience something that was quite upsetting, and I went through a marriage breakup which was quite bad, and ended up with this generalised anxiety disorder and PTSD, which at the time, you just don't really know what you're going to do and how you're going to deal with it. But came across this thing called Body Combat, which was apparently mixed martial arts to music, and I could not leave the house. That was, like you said, one of the things, pivotal things, but I managed to get myself there, and it was, looking back, I can still see the stage, I can still see the instructor, and I can still smell the room, and it just totally changed my life. From the minute I walked in, I just felt so empowered and so excited by it. Something just clicked in my brain, and that really is where the whole story just changed. My life just changed from that minute. So yeah, I went on this. Sorry, were you gonna? Sorry, ask me a question. Then
Keep going.
No. So yeah, I basically just attended the classes more and more each week, and started to, obviously, like you say, lose weight, feel better about myself, and then somebody said to me, "Why don't you become an instructor?" And I was like, "You must be joking! I don't have the ability. I can't get up in front of people. I mean, it was just enough to get me to the class." But I think it took about a year and a half of me consistently going like an avid fanatic 3 or 4 times a week to realise that, yes, maybe I should, send in my module training form. And the rest is history. I think I did my Body Combat training in the UK, and about 2 weeks later I did my pump training, and got qualified, internationally certified, and came to Australia, and then did my sports science degree, and then RPM. So yeah, it's been quite a journey. If anybody had said to me you would be in Australia with a sports science degree with your own fitness business, I would have just gone, you must be joking. But now I just, yeah, it's totally amazing.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Good on you for pursuing and yeah, going along that journey to really stretch yourself and step outside of your comfort zone. I'm sure that's how it felt for
Yeah.
you in those days
It was,
of
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely the most petrifying thing ever. You know, just completely. Oh God, when I think about it, yeah, but equally the best thing ever as well. So
Awesome. And now you've got this initiative that you're working on, which obviously stems from the inspiration to help other women in similar position to you. Tell us a little bit about that.
yeah, so currently my business is Emerge Health and Fitness. So I work within the local community with primarily ladies, because in my research when I was establishing my business, I did find that there were a lot of ladies who would come to me and say that they felt quite vulnerable, I don't know, quite nervous of going into gyms. And so they'd come to me, we'd do small group training and mobile personal training, because a lot of them had issues about, I don't really want to be seen doing this outside of my home, or, you know, the confines of my garden, or, so that's how I kind of started out, which I'm still doing at the moment. But then it dawned on me that maybe this could be something that could be bigger, and it could be the mission of the thing that I want to get going is called, well, it's Emerge for Life. That's the name of it. And the mission of it really is to help women through quality fitness programs to change themselves not only physically but mentally as well, if that's what they need. Because I think that there is so much value that can be gained from exercise. It's just, you know, from my personal experience, the journey that I've been on, the amount of friends that I've met, the places that I've been to, being able to talk to yourself, Judy, you know, having met you through this, I cannot even, if I could show you my thoughts of all the things that have happened to me, you know. So I want to share that with ladies who perhaps don't necessarily have access to exercise. They don't necessarily have the funds to exercise. They perhaps feel very vulnerable, nervous, anxious. And I really just want to build a community of ladies where they feel comfortable to exercise in maybe small groups. Once I get that going in my area, I really would like to expand that out. It's my vision to expand it out into Western Australia, into rural communities. When I first came to Australia, I lived in a really small little town, and I guess you call it town, in the central wheat belt. It was the smallest little shire ever, and there was all that was there. There was a swimming pool. There was no gym, and it was, for me, it was really depressing and oppressive, and I didn't really have any outlet of meeting other women or any, you know, women who might understand me. So I went back to being that introverted in my house, you know, with the exercise DVD on. And so really the bigger picture for this is to take it out to rural communities and get it happening there, and get ladies meeting each other and out of their houses. And yeah, so that's kind of in a nutshell what's going on in my mind as to where I'd like to take this.
Awesome. Great.
Other experiences.
I love it. I love to see, you know, again, for yourself, going through that experience, and then, you know, this is a passion that's coming through, that it sounds like you're really pulled towards that, really coming from an authentic place and really wanting to make a difference to other people through the challenges and the experiences that you've had. So
yes, yeah,
it's
definitely.
yeah. So would you say that this, you know, experience that you've been through depression and PTSD and so forth has benefited you in some way, because it's helped you to now be able to create something that's helping other people?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And that may sound to people to be absolutely crazy, but when this first happened to me, the natural thing is to be like, why me? Why do I have these things? Why has this happened to me? But when the penny dropped, and my life started to change, then it almost, for a strange way of saying it, it's almost like a blessing that those things did happen to me, because otherwise I wouldn't have empathy and I wouldn't have an understanding. Even the things that happened to me right back in my nursing career, you know, now I've taken those things forward with me as well. And so it's given me this really rich understanding and a really rich empathy for others, that I just don't think I would have. So yes, I do now think that this is something that, you know, these cards were dealt to me so as I could, you know, play this hand now and help other people, perhaps in the same situation, or they may not be, but they just need that little nudge, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I love it. You know, this is working with clients individually for one-on-one coaching. You know, one of the biggest things that people are stuck in is the victim mentality, which is that, why is that happening to me? And in order to be able to get out of that, break free of that, like you've done, it requires looking at what do I need to learn from this? What's the purpose of this? And when we can discover the purpose of that and realize there's something so much greater out there to use this, you know, horrible situation that you've been through for the better. And I really want to commend and acknowledge you for obviously being able to move through that and see that, because not everyone gets there.
That, which is absolutely true. And thank you, Judy. I really appreciate that. And you know, the other thing is that if I can facilitate this so that I can help these ladies, they might have the same penny drop in their heads too, you know, like, and realize that, you know, they can create change, not just, it may not be through fitness, but they can create some sort of change through something that they discover, you know. There's a whole wide world out there to discover, and now my thing is no regrets, you know. I don't want to live with regrets. And I look back and I think, oh gosh, if I'd have stuck in that victim mentality, I would be living with a lot of regret right now. So,
great, fantastic. And then that's right. Then you're creating a ripple effect, right? So the impact that you have on the women that you can impact, then they will start to impact and out themselves. And that's what we need in the world, more people that are creating those little ripple effects to create a fitter planet and a mentally strong, you know, as well. Awesome.
I've actually just come off doing I just did a quick Facebook live before I came on here today, and my friend mentioned in the comments about women, especially women empowering women, and I think that is so important. I mean, I think I get really excited when I think about that, because especially with social media and things like that, sometimes we get a little bit negative, and you know, I think it's important to keep, you know, women empowering women, and lose the negativity.
Yes, that's right. And it starts with us.
Yes, absolutely. The
more we do that, then the more other women are going to want to empower each other and so forth. So it's great to be an influencer and a leader in this area of women's empowerment.
Yes.
And, great. So you shared a good lesson that it's kind of a little bit of a motto, no regrets. Is there anything else that you would like to share in terms of a kind of one of the big learnings from you from the experience that you continue to now take forward, a belief, an attitude, a mindset, something that you can share with other people perhaps going through this themselves?
Oh, that's put me on the spot.
I like to do that. I'm quite good at that.
That's okay. I don't know. I just at this point in my life, I mean, I still have issue with anxiety, and I still continue to address things that come up on a daily basis, because you can't always have the answer, for everything. So I think, a lesson that I've learned is that this just continually is evolving, and we just have to continually evolve as people. So as we don't, I'm finding it hard to explain, but so as we don't get caught, do you know what I mean? Like, one thing perhaps might work with anxiety and things like that for a while, but just really keeping in touch with yourself and understanding how you work as a person, and acknowledging when perhaps things need to change. That's one of the things that I've been through recently, is that I actually gave up teaching combat, which was one of the hardest things that I had to do ever. And my friends laughed at me because I say, I'll give it up next week, and it became like this long running thing. But I realized that I had to do it in order to move forward and to, have that. I'm trying to explain it, but
I needed to space for something else to be
for something else to manifest. And for me, because I'm so passionate about my new initiative, it would have given me more anxiety to hang on to try and keep teaching the combat, whereas I had to let it go and acknowledge that now in my life I need something else. This other thing needs to come in. So really just being aware about changes that are going on in you as well, and that it's not always static, it's a learning process. And what might be right at one time, you might be wrong at a different time, and to learn to adapt with those changes, I suppose. I think that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, great. And I think that's exactly spot on. Well, we're human, right? And human beings,
yes.
Negative thoughts, negative society, where our society is very fear-based. So many people have anxiety. It's one of the most common things, right? And that's because of the influences around us. So it's a daily work on. Even for me, being a mindset coach and a master practitioner and a trainer in NLP, I still need to do the work on myself daily, constantly, to stay on top of my mindset and be in the right state and continue to do that. And like you said, that's what you have had to do as well. And it's not necessarily something that completely goes, but it's part of the process.
It's really, but it's showing, especially to my ladies at the moment, that it's not if normal is the right word to use, but it is normal to go through that, to have to work on things and change things a little bit,
Yeah, I think it's more of like the acceptance that it's okay to have that, right?
Yes.
For a long time, it's not been okay to have depression or anxiety or any kind of mental kind of challenges going on, but it is normal. But we, just like we need to train our bodies, we also need to train our minds.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
Good. Awesome. And so what about in terms of inspiration? Where does your inspiration come from?
Oh, my inspiration. Well, when I was younger, it's funny really looking back. When I was younger, my biggest inspiration, and everyone will laugh probably, was Madonna. I used to idolize Madonna because she was just this figure of women's empowerment. She was just so vocal, so raw, never frightened, even now, to speak her mind, whether it be right or wrong. But throughout my life, she's just continued to be this evolving person who, I've always seen her as an inspiration, because she's just always been, she's never let anything completely batter her down. She's just always kept going, one foot in front of the other. And I know a lot of people will say, yes, she's a celebrity and, she's got all these team around you, but the pressures of being a celebrity that come with that too. So what inspires me, I mean, she does still continue to inspire me, but different things, I suppose, as, you get older, In my fitness journey at the moment, I'm very much into CrossFit, so I'm very much into this influx of women who have come in, and it's okay to train, it's okay to lift weights, it's okay to be a different body shape to what is the norm or what have you. You know, what is normal, it's challenging that what is normal, and that is fantastic. I get so excited about that. That's I do. I get really like, yes, when these women come along and just smash these ideas out of the window. I get excited by anybody like that. If I'm watching, I have to be completely honest. I watched a program the other day about Albert Einstein's life, and that was inspirational to me, because here's somebody else who came along and just completely, you know, went against the grain, didn't do what they were told, and completely changed, you know, the way we think about things. I draw a lot of inspiration from a lot of different places, I have to be honest. And I think I was saying to you earlier, like, you know, like yourself, influential businesswomen who I meet now, who don't have to be, you know, like super uber successful businesswomen that you see on the telly and things like that. But, you know, I mean, you're extremely successful and you're a mum. And to me, that's massively inspirational, because I have no children and I don't know how you do it. Yeah, it just... I'm open to a lot of areas of inspiration, to be honest. Yeah.
Good, awesome. And there's so much of it around when you are looking for it. And
oh yes,
like,
yeah,
you can find inspiration in maybe even a single stay-at-home mum who's raising 3 kids on their own. You know, that's
yes. Oh, absolutely. Yes. And I do get very inspired by a lot of my friends who are in that situation, because they've all of a sudden made a decision or done something, and I just go, wow, that's incredible. If they can do it, then I can do it.
Yeah, definitely. Love that. And then what about your motivation and your drive? Like, what is it that's really important to you to stay motivated and stay driving towards the things that you want?
For motivation, I just think knowing that there is so much more out there to achieve, personally and professionally. There isn't that traditional, like in the old days, where we would work until a certain age, and, you know, we'd have to have children by a certain age, but that isn't the same now. So, you know, to know that there is this, you know, you can achieve whatever at any age. It's just amazing. That keeps me motivated, and you know, knowing that through doing that myself, it will hopefully have a positive impact on other people.
Well, it will indeed.
Yes, yeah, that keeps me motivated. Sorry.
It will indeed. Yeah, we definitely inspire people when we're going after what we want, and, you know, stepping outside our comfort zone and playing it big, and so it's.
I think at the moment I'm very into going out of my comfort zone, and I think that is motivating me a lot at the moment. It's petrifying me, but it's it's also a motivational thing, because it helps other people. It does. It helps other people to overcome their fears. You know, so.
For sure. And if it's comfortable, then it's not going to be scary, right? So if you are feeling fear, then that's a good sign that you're most likely outside your comfort zone and doing it anyway. So it's I encourage people to do something like that every single day.
Yes, and I would say the same, because even though my brain goes, don't do it, even with my initiative now, as I talk about it, you know, I think, oh my gosh, this is just so massive, but desire to do it is too great to let it go, and there would be too much regret. So but really, I suppose what drives me is that I just want to be authentic. I really think that, you know, it's important to lead by example. And once again, I just think pushing my limits and having no regrets. You know, I can sit here and the CrossFit Games are on this weekend, and I can sit here and I can watch that, and I can get all excited about it and go, oh, I wish I could do that, or I could give it a go. And if I don't, well, not obviously the games, but if you know, I don't think I'm going to get there, but I could give I can give the training a go. And what happens if it doesn't work out? Well, it doesn't work out, but I've given it a try. So, you know, what's the worst that can happen? I suppose that's the thing that, it drives me to keep going, because really, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah, and just put in your best.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And if you've given it your best, then yeah.
Good. And then obviously you've been a change maker in your own life. You've made lots of changes and you've come such a long way. And that's really inspiring. I want you to just, if you have any other kind of advice out there for people who are wanting to perhaps make a change in their life.
Yeah. Oh, any advice?
You've given some already, of course. Anything else?
Yeah, I know. I feel like I've chatted away. I think the real thing that is just coming from here, which I've said before, I just feel like I have to say, if you're thinking about it and you're thinking about it every day and you're waking up thinking about it, then you've really got to do it and don't regret it, because you hear it all the time. Life is short, time passes really quickly as you get older and all these things like that. But, do it. What is the worst that can happen? I think that really, I know I've said it through the recording today, but I really honestly think that's the take-home message.
Yes.
If you think about it, if you think about it all the time and you feel it from your heart and you feel, from your soul even, that's what you want to do, then go for it. Definitely. Because those who judge you, let them judge you. At the end of the day, you've got to do what you feel is right for you, and what's the worst that can happen? Great. If I hadn't taken, I can't even imagine if I hadn't taken this journey. I've met so many wonderful people. I've travelled internationally. I'm living in Australia. I just can't believe it, So take the chance.
Yeah, definitely. Go for it.
Yes.
And if you fall on your head, you just get back up and you brush yourself off and you keep going, right? Find another way.
Absolutely. Yeah.
A lot of people are scared of failure, and failure again it's made up. It's all made up in our minds. So
yes.
And the thing that we like to say in NLP, there is no failure, there's only feedback. So we get feedback, we find another way, and we make it work in some way, shape or form. If we didn't try, we wouldn't get the feedback, and then we wouldn't be able to improve.
Yeah. And I'm really learning that now. I'm not so scared of failure anymore as I was. It's like you say, it's this thing that we create in our minds, and it's actually a very valuable tool, to be honest. So
sure is. Yeah. Because each of us, the belief that I have is that each of us can achieve anything that we want.
Yes.
If we decide on what we want and go towards it relentlessly,
yes,
mindset that we're never going to give up, we'll get there. Now, it may not look like the way that we think we want it to go. It may be with a lot of more kind of twists and turns, and it may take more years than what we would like, but we will get there. So
yes, I agree. Yeah. And that's something as well I'm learning at the moment. It doesn't always stick to the plan.
Oh, that's right. It never does.
It deviates all over the place.
Exactly. So what kind of support are you looking for with regards to your initiative, and where can people find you so that they can, connect in with you and hear more about what you're up to?
Well, I currently I've got a GoFundMe page, and the reason I've set that up is because I have been to a lot of different organisations and different government departments, I suppose is the way you put it. and there isn't much in the way of grants and things like that because I don't fit into certain criteria. So I do have a GoFundMe page at the moment that is Changing the Lives of Women, that's called. I have Emerge for Life. I've set up a page on Facebook. So if you type in the search bar Emerge for Life, that will come up. And if you jump on my Emerge Health and Fitness page, then that's all linked up as well. I do, excuse me, have a website as well, which is emergehealthandfitness.com. So, and I am on Instagram as Emerge Health and Fitness. There's a lot of information there.
That's right. People will be able to find you in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, that's
yes.
Great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much again, Sarah, for joining us today on ChangeMaker TV. It's been an absolute pleasure to hear more about your story and your journey, and also about what you're doing out there to help empower other women.
Thank you so much for having me, Judy. I feel really excited that I've been able to come on and talk to you and share it. It's it's awesome. I've got a smile ear to ear now.
Good. We have as well. So my absolute pleasure, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.